Hi, this is Alex, and in this short video, I'd like to share with you different ways to celebrate the Lunar New Year, which is probably the largest holiday in the Vietnamese culture.
But first, how would you like an ongoing supply of free reports, helpful resources and unique cultural insights for meeting, dating and marrying a Vietnamese woman? Too easy. Just take a quick moment to subscribe and click the bell icon, and you'll never miss out again.
So the focus of this video is really about, like I said, different ways of celebrating the Lunar New Year. But really, I wanted to talk a little bit about, other things that you may want to gradually adopt, right? So as you can probably tell in this video, I'm wearing a traditional outfit here that's, popular to wear during this time of year or for special ceremonies. Now, the one thing I want to emphasize to you is when I first met Khánh Vân, this wasn't natural to me, right? I grew up, celebrating the Lunar New Year, but, in a very cursory manner. Like there's different, for lack of a better word, there's a lot of things that are part of this particular celebration. One of the ones that the kids really like is that if you basically have, younger siblings, nieces or nephews, anybody's younger than you that you're close with, you typically gift them money in little red envelopes. And again, small amount of cash, sometimes, a couple dollars, sometimes $5, $10. It just depends on how many, it's really up to the person, right? It's not really the amount of money. It's that money kind of symbolizes the goodwill that you want to kind of wish to that, for that person. Okay. So, but what I want to just kind of emphasize is when I first, met Vân, what I did, I would say, probably a very cursory celebration of this holiday. It is the biggest holiday, but because I really, I felt really a bit disconnected, for lack of a better word, from my roots. So I did probably the least amount. There's some years I really didn't pay, much attention to it. But then once I started going out with her, then what I realized is that, there's a lot more to this than just, the mechanics, right? Like there's actually a lot of symbolism, and there's a lot of historical significance behind it. And she never really forced, any one thing on it, right? She asked, like, would I be open to doing this? Would I be open to doing that? So whereas in the past, when I first met her, I would basically, again, do the barest minimum, which is, give money to this and, greet people like I would. We have a saying, it's very similar to kind of, if you would say Merry Christmas, there's a saying that you typically say with the Lunar New Year, around that time of year. But like I said, as I got closer and closer to Vân, then what happened is I just, I naturally over time, I wanted to, I saw how important it was for her. This holiday was a lot bigger than I originally, even though I knew it was the biggest holiday, I understood that, but I didn't understand all the cultural impact of it, right? Again, I came here when I was very young, where she came to the U.S. a little bit older, so she's had more time to really understand the full significance of the holiday. And so she asked if I were open to going to the temple to do, different ceremonies, and then if I were open to basically wearing different outfits to really, get into the spirit of it, right? So what I'm trying to say is this: if you'd asked me years ago, when I wear this, my brothers, or my dad are shocked. I'm like, you were never like this growing up, right? Like, it wasn't like you ran away from it, but you never really expressed any interest in this, right? And so this is kind of what I'm just kind of telling you here. If you're with your lady, it's up to you how much you want to adopt, what's important to her, right? But I can say that the more I do this willingly, out of respect and love, the richer my life is, right? Because there's just more things that you can learn about the other party, okay? Now, I'm by no means telling you that you need to go to this, for lack of a better word, this level, right? This didn't happen overnight, okay? Me going to the temple and learning all of these different, things and celebrating the Lunar New Year. Certainly, the idea of wearing this, even as recently as a year or two ago, I probably wouldn't be open to it, right? I wouldn't necessarily say I was resistant, but I wouldn't like, wear it and then, and take pictures in it, right? I would probably wear it grudgingly, right? But now, for me, it's almost like a ritual or ceremony, and so because of that, I look forward to this time of year now. Whereas in the past, it just kind of like, even though it's a big holiday, it just kind of comes and goes. Again, I want to be transparent. Vanessa still understands a lot more about the ceremonies and all that than I do. I just follow her lead, and so I guess I like to kind of share with you here. If you're going to be with your Vietnamese lady, especially in a community in an area where there's a large Vietnamese population, make it a point of learning what the significance of the holiday is, beyond just what I call the mechanics, right? Like, oh well, you should gift this, gift that. Like, learn like maybe a little bit about the history of the calendar. Like, why is this day special? Like what are some of the dishes that are served during this time that's probably maybe not served during the rest of the year, right? There's certain dishes or certain desserts, certain treats that are really, really popular during this particular holiday season, mainly because it's just I guess that's just the tradition of it. And in case you may not have watched the other video, it's called the Lunar New Year. So it kind of varies a little bit year by year, right? It doesn't necessarily quite land on the January the 1st like you may think. It follows another calendar, right? Like the calendar we have in the U.S. is often known, it's sometimes referred to as, based upon the, a Christian calendar, or sometimes called a Gregorian calendar, which is a obscure reference to, I think he's a monk or something. He's credited with kind of coming up with the current calendar by some sources. But the point is, like, the lunar calendar is a different time of year. So as of this video shooting, it's about, this video recording, we're about a week or two away from it. For this year, it lands roughly in about the first week of February. In many years, it can land as early as, late January. And so it tends to float around, within a 2-week period. Again, your lady would probably be able to tell you when that is. So, as I said, the purpose of this video is really tell you a little bit more about how I kind of evolved, for lack of a better word, or taken on, more I don't know if it's active, but a more comprehensive, a more immersive celebration of this particular holiday. Again, mainly because out of respect and love for Vân. But I would say that this is true maybe other cultures, other traditions beyond the Lunar New Year, right? Again, it's going to vary, lady by lady, woman by woman. But if you really want to fully experience, and I suspect probably make her really happy, even though she may not tell you, you just may want to gradually adopt, or learn more about the traditions that are important to her, and just have a frank conversation about which traditions are more important to her than others, right? And she'll probably tell you. Like I said, I did not know that this was as big a thing for Vân until a couple years into our relationship, and then she gradually asked me, is this something that I want to know more about? Because she kind of noticed that I didn't know much about the various traditions associated with this particular holiday. I said, yeah, I'd be curious about it. And then she just started asking me, am I open to doing this or that? And as you said, as I said, gradually I start adopting more and more of that particular tradition. So again, this is just, there was a couple, requests about asking me about how I celebrate it versus say maybe how she celebrates it. She still does go to more ceremonies than I do, mainly because I don't know. I'm still learning about all the various ceremonies and whatnot. But at this point, I would say even going back a year or two, what we do now to celebrate this holiday is significantly more than what we did even a couple years ago. So as I said, just a takeaway, learn what's important to you. I guess the key takeaway lesson to this is learn what's important to your lady, learn, which traditions are important to her that she wants to hold on to, and then just learn about it and then see you can make it, you can celebrate those traditions together and then keep it alive for another generation, or as long as you can. And then I'm sure that she'll really, really appreciate that. All right. So again, this is Alex. I hope you found this video helpful and useful. And if you do enjoy this video, I would ask that you click on the subscribe button and then subscribe to our channel. And if you know people that might enjoy this channel, we'd also appreciate you spread the word by just telling your 3 of your friends. Okay, so again, hit the subscribe channel, tell 3 of your friends, and this is Alex signing off, and I'll talk to you in the next video. And I'd love to hear about how, if you're in a relationship right now with a Vietnamese lady, or if you're not, if you this is something you would like to learn more about. Again, the Lunar New Year, which is the largest holiday, for the Vietnamese folks. Okay, so this is Alex signing off, and I'll talk to you in the next video.